one as well. Probably on the next.
They build blocks of flats on foundations like that, don't they? It's 2023. I always said one day I'd ride Red Bull Hardline, and now I've got a downhill bike. This is the year, right? I rode Darkfest on it, which was a massive box ticked. We were going to walk the course now. This is track walk day. Come and have a look at what I've got ahead of me. Just getting to here was seriously treacherous. Like, just walking down to this point was mad, wasn't it? A lot of people were slipping over, and then you immediately ride off a cliff with a raging waterfall next to us. There's been so much rain, the track's changed completely. They've made massive enhancements. I've never even seen the 90-foot jumps further down. Let's walk down the track and see what I've got to come. It's very different this time because I actually have to ride it. I always ignored these bits because they were just like the in-between bits, but now they really matter, don't they? Wow. Don't know what the line is. Those guys are saying you just cut down the middle there, but it doesn't look possible. Apparently they ride just through the V. It looks like it'd grab your front wheel, doesn't it? Actually a decent berm. And then 25-foot drop.
Jesus.
But I think on my first run I'm going to land here.
Well, and just roll it all.
Yeah, one of the only drops you can roll. What do you reckon, Tommy G?
Exactly the same as you, bro. Just as small as you can. As small as you can. Maybe over there is perfect. Who's the front wheel? Terrifying in the wet.
Yeah, it's a shame. I've come here so many times and it's sunny without a bike, and now I've brought a bike to the wet one. That's gutting, isn't it? Oh well. These are those sections where people put wetsuits on and use them as slides, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? it's like a classic canyoning feature. I don't think they can change it, mate. I think this has been here for 5 million years.
I know, but there used to be like a...
right.
Yeah, they set this rock in place specifically for the race.
Yeah, they've added moss though. They've encouraged moss growth big time. It wasn't like look at the threat of that hill. Bear in mind you do drift down this stuff. If you drift slightly too far, like 2 meters, then you
have
just
to catch that berm
keeps going, and that bit's too steep for sheep. So that's like fast way down.
Fast way down to A&E, mate.
And into the darkness. Which actually, I haven't got any clear lenses for this.
Really?
Mine's really tinted and scratched. Oh, someone will lend me a lens. Look how dark it is in here. What a horrible place to inevitably crash. Like, there's no light at the end of this tunnel. It's actually weirdly apocalyptic. Nothing grows, does it? All the trees don't have any leaves, and they're all kind of cut down into razor, like they're sharp daggers. You would never get through there in a million years, would you?
Way.
Looks like you're just going to get rotivated, doesn't it? They shouldn't have built a course up here. What were they thinking? This is so blind. You go down around, there's people under the drop.
Oh my god.
There's 2 guys under there. This is so blind. I don't know why they've used chicken wire. Like a chicken could never walk up there. It's too slippery. And because they've incorporated like a garden centre water feature into the landing that's now covered in rain, apparently you have to brake there, that's it, and then on that rock, when it's wet, you cannot touch the brakes because you'll crash. So from here, you have to be brakeless right the way down to that berm. And again, behind that berm is the like shredder of trees. Yeah, although there's not the biggest jumps on the course, it's this top section that kind of stresses me out now I have to ride it, because this isn't where my skills lay at all.
Yeah.
Josh, you can't brake on that, can you? You can't even touch it. So
no, I did last year, and I ended up facing the wrong way in that corner.
Yeah, I bet it's
oh my
fun.
God.
And what's that berm like?
It's good. You know what though? There gets a big hole by that tree, so you end up having quite a compression.
Great. This bit's really important. I'll probably ride this before any of that. Someone snapped their bike on that drop onto the chicken wire yesterday. It's not even that big. Right, down here's the cannon. I've hit the jump after the cannon on my dirt jump bike, but I've never hit the cannon. And it's about 50 foot long. Apparently you have to go as fast as possible. You can't hold back. You pump everything, you pedal where you can. That's all feedback from a dry day, whereas now it's that deep in slop. So I feel like I've got a really bad year to be testing this stuff, do you know what I mean? So many people will be coming here with the confidence they've built over the last 5 years. I have to, although I've been here and engaged with it, I feel like it's not the best conditions. And the funniest bit is how many riders are here looking at lines. Like, I think I could go faster there, I could jump that stump. Like, that's so far off my radar, trying to like optimize speed. I'm like gonna try and attack it as a very like modular hill. Like, okay, I need to jump that jump and it's this speed and I'm going to work on that. And then if I do that, what's the next big feature? Everything in between is so irrelevant to me. Just the running's so unsmooth, isn't it? It's like riding down a shale mount. Kind of excited for this one. Darkfest was such a confidence boost, but everything there is so smooth. It's like massive dirt jumps, whereas this is massive downhill, and downhill's not my thing. I think I'll be alright. I got this one. My favourite. Obviously, it's been in the intro for 2 years, hasn't it? The Bowman's really early though. There's so much more bend you have to make up on flat ground, and it's cool when it's dry. Now you're like cornering through puddles, getting wet tyres ready for a metal takeoff. Those two things don't really knit together, do they? And they're all stood on the landing. It's such a beast. This is a cool one. I'm not worried about this. It's sick. Do you remember this one? I hate this one. Landing's so flat, so I'm worried about like blowing a foot off, blowing my hand off the bar. There's so much on this course. It's got massive step downs, massive drops. But this is downhill takeoff to a flat landing. Usually you have a takeoff to a steep place, like really backwards. You have to prepare for a massive impact no matter what. Like no one's ever ridden this and made it look smooth. But the big dilemma is you land and then you're still pointing down one of the steepest parts of the mountain, and I'm worried about coming to a controlled stop because you can't. I think you carry all that speed all the way down to right in those trees. Like you have to get rid of speed over 100 meters. But if you start to like get bounced or bucked or swap out, that compounds into a compound fracture, doesn't it?
No braking on the rock. You gain way more speed than you think, and then you brake again when you hit the dirt.
And the turns where
Totally,
the turn's amazing.
The turn, or you like scan it into the turn and just
yeah, that drop up there, that's where you start on the step up really, and then you're careering to that berm.
But like I say,
quite a lot of ground to be.
You brake before.
It's not that you're out of control, is it? It's just you're not stopping. Just accept that
you can't stop, but you're not out of control.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted a dead stop, you literally can't do it.
Cool.
But you're under control. You control here, let off on the rock, control again, sick turn.
I think for the first time ever, Ben, I'm going to wear gloves.
Ooh, yeah. I think
I've made the executive decision. I've actually just announced it. The call has been made. I'm wearing gloves. That bit down there is new for me. I've never even walked it really, so I mean, yeah, currently it's massive. Come and have a look. This is the setup drop for all the new, they call them the 90 footers. They are genuinely 90 foot. There's a massive on-off. People like walk past this like it doesn't exist as a feature, on the track walk, because that stuff's so significant. They forget that this is like serious business. It's so long.
It's really long.
It's longer than a double-decker bus. It's not very high. There's like a hidden tree stump in the ferns there where I would probably think to land, but he's got his right foot on a stump. That looks like part of the landing, doesn't it? That would have you over the bar. That would snatch your back wheel clean off in an instant. In the backyard trails build, we built 4 or 5 jumps in this space.
Yeah.
We made us sit. We put a month's digging into this area, and here it's just like no one even stops to look. This is the on, which is about 40 feet, and then you've got less deck than that, so no one is stopping here. If you jump on, you are absolutely obliged to jump off, and then oh my god. And this is like a setup feature for the 90 footers. So again, like most of the guys that have ridden this last year don't even stop to look at this because it's kind of irrelevant. It's like a small piece of the big picture. This is a massive piece of the puzzle for me. Like to have to hit all these 3 features in one combined, no fault, no error, no mistake. You have no option to back out at this point. If you even try and get on the brakes, you're going to land in the back of that landing. And those cushions are like sofa cushions. They're just going to do nothing. Like imagine running into your sofa full speed. It'd be painful, wouldn't it? This is the section that Jono's never ridden either. So the combined fear is like on the limiter. I was up here loads last year filming and presenting and stuff, but I saw it get ridden loads and I feel like, oh, it's doable. And now when you know that you've got your bike with you in your van, it's not okay. Like it actually sucks. But everyone did it pretty good last year. Pretty now it's good. Our turn. Someone stove themselves into the back of the landing. Everyone did it pretty good. I think they had to land a helicopter. Have they ever landed a helicopter on it?
This is so long. Whoa.
Yeah, and you don't... Okay, again, if you just rolled in from here and there was a jump at the end, it would be massive, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
This run-up starts essentially halfway up those trees you'd be brakeless from, all the way through the step down, the step on, the step off, like where G is. How fast are you going there? 25, 30 miles an hour? Probably faster. That's your start, then that. That's what's required to jump 90 foot. And anything less is such a big crash, like that you can't afford to case this jump. And everyone's saying that You have to pedal down here as fast as you can or speed tuck. It's one thing accepting all that speed for a jump, but like adding to it pedaling, I was struggling with this at Darkfest. The speed between the jumps felt too much and I was so sure I had to brake and that I was going too fast, and that brake would cost me the gap and like usually a big case, but you can kind of get away with casing there because they're so dirt jump built with these rounded case pads. These are just cut off sheer back with a digger because you're not allowed to make a mistake here. This is what they launch Harrier jump jets off of. No, not them, they can be vertical, can't they?
Yeah.
F-15s. They launch F-15s off of things like this.
Cannot see the landing yet.
It's blind from all the way back there. Oh, wow. And then the next one.
Oh, true. We've got a bit of shelter for this one, haven't we?
Jeez, yeah.
This one as well. Probably on the next.
They build blocks of flats on foundations like that, don't they? That's nothing like the jumps at Darkfest. Step down, firstly. This bit stresses me out. The jumps should be my kind of forte, shouldn't they?
Yeah, but these aren't really...
They're not jumps, they're just like horrible launch pads.
Yeah. And what happens after that? Is that another 90 footer?
So suppose that one's even longer. Supposedly you land this perfect speed tuck, potentially pedal. I haven't got big enough gears for that, and go again. But the next one, yeah. Oh. This is more step down, isn't it? Any idea where those mats are there? Like a weird game show, like some sort of Takeshi's Castle stunt, isn't it? I'll tell you one thing that's sick. This is very cool. Hellfair's the official merch partner with Red Bull Hardline this year, so we as Hellfair have made all the t-shirts, the caps. Look, here's one.
Very nice. Very nice.
Lucky us. Thank you, mate. It's very good. Good casquette, no?
Ouais, bonne casquette. Bonne qualité.
C'est très bien, non? I'd say this is the section that's like looks the least passable, you know. Most people have to go on all hands and fours. They're up, what's it, on all fours to get down. It's like it once was a rock garden that got vandalised. Next is like the smoothest bit ever. We get to ride on wooden boardwalks over an entire road that you can fit 2 cars abreast on. So at least that's a break. You actually touch that berm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit the berm, pre-hop in, like just not pre-hop, like cha, like a little, like hop over, in, and then as you saw.
Did you see the dog just send it off that?
Yeah.
I like this because there's some science to it. Like everyone starts in the same place, everyone does the same thing, everyone weighs roughly the same and rides similar bikes, and everyone lands on the landing. You just can't afford to case, but no one really does, do they?
If you do, hell, bro, your ankles would be.
It's a fair assessment of the damage caused.
But if you do a full run, it's easier on these rocks if you go to here.
Okay, and then you just make up the speed.
Then you just go round the turn,
Right,
do your
let's go
pump.
look at it. And you guys, I'm sure if you're watching, you know what the road gap's all about, but it's like definitely the highlight for the crowd. Maybe for the riders too, because it's like so scary, but potentially not that hard.
It's the most.
Like it requires not less skill, but most courage.
Most
you know?
courage,
Yeah.
for sure. And it's still the scariest one when you come in each year.
Weird place to start it. It's in a cliff. I'm frightened about the road gap, because so I should be. But how gnarly is that berm? That's quite a big deal, isn't
That
it?
is. What's over it?
Exactly.
Yeah, that would not be
People
ideal.
do ride over the top of berms all the time. I do it probably 2-3 times a month.
But this is super grippy, at least.
Yeah, so off the brakes from back there, one pedal, it's a lot of speed, it's all downhill, the takeoff of the road gap's actually downhill. Ben, I'm going to leave you to go and film that. I looked at it like yesterday and I'm going to just, I went over and over it in my head, so I'm going to stick with that. Because I am going to do it this year. So this is something I'm going to, yeah, I've kind of done it all in my head now. You go, leave it to it. You've got to be good at railing berms, like the best. Because that net, I don't think they know what's going on. That net's not doing anything. You'd just go under it. But then it's like, we're not far from the end. There's 3 big booters at the bottom. But to get to them, this section's like been built so deliberately awkwardly. More unnecessary ribcage rocks. Get that one to the armpit. Just death, rim splitting rocks. Look at this, Ben.
Hang on, let me navigate this. Not even on a bike.
This uses snap crank arms. Well, it has, hasn't it? It's snap frames and crank arms.
Whoa!
It's just a flat, but this is all, they've paved this. These are all new rocks. It was just this natural one. Oh, great. So that's like a Why do they do that and leave the landing flat? Jeopardy. You like this bit again? Oh look, we'll spend a few hours doing shovel work to make a nice berm. Ah, but we know where you want to land, so we'll just put an absolute landmine there. You know?
God.
It's true, isn't it? They're dangling a carrot like, some nice patted in clay. No, we'll put a little rock feet. Yeah, look. I hear you want to put your wheels here, sir. No problem.
Oh, go a little deep.
Yeah.
We've got you covered.
Oh, a little bit to the left, just a little bit off track after 3 minutes of hell. No worries, we'll put that for your ankle bone. You corner with your inside pedal down because you're tired. Don't you worry. Nice pedal strike here to put you into the bushes. So within 10 metres, or in fact 10 feet, they've covered every possible threat to ruin your day. When you've done all of that is the flat berm that ends you. The cannon. I'm actually start for hitting this. I've been riding cannons for years in slopestyle. Like every big slopestyle comp had a massive cannon log. I've built a couple in my time, like my compound. This one, they just don't quite get it, do they? Like usually they're nice and steep with not much gap. This one's like a proper trajectory launch pad. I mean, also like it's really muddy. It's every feature where there's some alright smooth chicken wire, it's really muddy, which means that's going to turn into... Oh, that won't have grip, will it? But you're not braking on it and you're not turning on it. Just don't stop on it. Also, walk up to the end again, Matt. It is a slight left turn.
Whoa.
You're turning up in.
That sends you completely the wrong way, Matt. What's the point in that?
Look at the back of it.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
Right, Jono. I reckon we'll start practice down here out the wind. So this might be the first thing I jump on my downhill bike in 6 weeks. Which is alright. Wouldn't take off, I'm into. Smooth landing-ish.
Very far, but
Very
yeah, you'll
far.
be fine, mate.
Very far. You just got to... Actually, the complex bit for so many of these features is getting speed, because it's not get handed to you. Like a dark fest, they build a smooth hill. Slope comps, dirt jumps, you just have a nice roll in, you build a tower. This is like technical riding to access the feature. So the bit that I might be alright at, I'm going to be compromised by the bit that I'm bad at. Most people would be in the other order. They're like, yeah, we can ride downhill, we hate jumps. Penultimate little skimmer jump into the final booter, which is potentially very final, which is this. It's 60 foot, I think. Massive case pad, but it's a case pad you can't use. Apparently you'll blow your feet off the pedals. Jono's jumped this. I mean, everyone who's come to Hardline's jumped this. I've never jumped this, but I think we are going to practice down here. If I do everything we've talked about on this track walk, all the big features in whatever order, that will be one of the biggest, I was going to say non-slopestyle achievements, but I think it'll be up there, like top 3 biggest achievements of my whole life, because I'm so out of my comfort zone here. I know that there's 20 riders here who are going to ride the course, but it's not what I like. It's not, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, I'm so out of my depth riding a bike on this stuff that to do it by the end of this week, I'll love that. Yeah, I can't wait for that. You need to do stuff that scares you, and nothing is going to scare me more than this course. So cross all our fingers that I make it to that arch in one shape or another. Just have a good week, legends.